Chaos, Chaos1, Chaos963, doing it to you again in 3D. Coming to you live from the studio, 100,000 kilowatts of energy, pure deep power, uncut, unadulterated, Listen, got a good one for you on today. It's so easy now, getting in the groove. I just sit back and wait for the other world to bring me stuff, and then I just bring it to you. We're in this serious times that is going on, but no more serious than the time before, but nonetheless need to be mentioned. You know, folk need to be conscious and cognizant of all of it, for sure, for sure. So, yeah, still ready. Listen, Chaos963, all my information down here. You feel so led, do what you do. Nothing's gonna stop the move, man. So I'm gonna keep moving and grooving, hitting and sticking like Popeye's chicken, in and out, up and down. Come to the understanding that as I look around and see what's going on, I'm just amazed, man. I'm amazed at people, the inability to handle and deal with the things that are going on. And for the most part, it's because that folks as a whole have succumbed to the brainwash, man. The brainwashing. You know, I've said on more than one occasion that staying out in a rural area, it's different than being up in the city. It was noticeable when I went into the city, Chicago in particular. It just totally bombarded, you know, with the chaos thing, you know, the COVID thing. And I mean, when you turn the TV on all over it, your internet, even now, you know, you open it up and boom, there it is. And so, into that, it's hard to understand and cut through all of that, you know, because you're being bombarded with that. Well, and looking back over the life, man, I realized that all my life, man, the messaging that's been going on, all the media, which is all controlled, and all the every platform out there. And so if you're not cognizant and if you're not purposely guarding your mind, then you're totally susceptible to the brainwash. You know, and it goes so deep and so thick. And after a while, you know, you're so saturated and so caught up into it, you don't even realize it, you know. And so if you are not purposely sitting and realizing that, you know, what is happening here is part of a systematic attempt to sway me towards towards that. So gonna share a little bit on that on today, man. It's pretty easy, pretty relevant. The fact is, you know, if you are constantly told that, you know, you're something, and if you're constantly led and to believe that, and it's reinforced by everything around you, eventually you're going to believe that. And I look at my people, and I'm like, man, they believe things that just simply are not true. And particularly depending on what level you're at, you believe it more so than others. And to break up out of that, it's takes something. For one, you got to get around some things that are contrary to that and start receiving from that. Because if you don't, you'll be getting the same programming and you'll be doing the same thing. I'm amazed at the lack of studiousness and the lack of venture that our people have. I mean, when I was involved with the church, I was amazed. I would be reading and studying. When I first got saved, I just voracious appetite, man. I got the Bible and I studied it and I went in and out and through it and just just was tearing it up. And then I would talk to other folks. They weren't reading, weren't studying it or anything. And I thought, man, this is crazy. How can you, say that you're embracing something and you don't even know what it is? And I remember sharing with a gentleman one time. He was telling me, well, no, I do this and my pastor and so on and so forth. And I said, well, your pastor, might be wrong. Oh no, he's okay. Well, I don't know what you think, but he can be just as wrong as the next cat. And that's just the bottom line. Because for one, if he's not studying, then you hit. So I was trying to make folk understand that, for one, these dudes go to these schools that are controlled. The curriculum and whatnot is already set up, what they're going to be learning and what they're going to get. And then consequently, they get that and come out and bring that to you. And that goes back to when I was first getting involved with the church. I went to a Lutheran church when I was a kid. That's what my mom and them was involved with. And they would send these pasteurized, dry clean dudes out to the hood and be bringing this word. And I always had a problem with that from the very start. I was like, I don't get it where you got this cat here bringing, this word to us, And for the most part, that's because this dude would get up there and a good part of his little sermon and all, he would be in Latin. I'd be like, man, if there is something in there for me, I can't get it. Then when I got saved, or what have you, I was going to a church, and it was pretty much the same thing. You just had a pastor here. He went to another school, and he brought the ideas and ideologies from that school over. And I was listening to what this guy was saying, and was all for it because it was all I knew. But I started studying on my own because I wanted to know more. I wanted to know everything. What I really wanted was the power that I had felt that day when I got saved. And what I really wanted was to see the things that I was reading about active in life. And my first question to cats would be, well, look, I'm seeing these dudes do some powerful stuff up in this Bible. I don't see that here, So that's when I started looking for somebody that had the juju battery, somebody else plugged in. When I get saved at a revival-like setting, but it was at this predominantly white church, but it was a huge church, and a portion of it they had rented out. They had rented out this, because the church had these different, it had a campus, man. It was, a small community in itself. And it probably had about 8 or 9 houses on the campus where the church was now. And they would rent out this stuff. They rented out this house. They had these folks come in, and they came in and was doing these revival-like things and studies. And man, I went up in there, and if you did tape or somewhere in there, you can find that tape. I talked about it. My cousin on the there told me, say, hey man, you need to come check this out, And so I went over there, and sure enough, I got hit, man. I'm standing up there, and I go down the aisle, and before I know it, I'm up there getting prayed for and all of that. But after that, they was gone. They was just there for that little period. And so now I'm looking for something to continue that on. Well, of course, I was brought up in the Lutheran church, so I go back to the Lutheran church, and I'm like, something's amiss, because they're not bringing it like they was bringing it over there. So, this is something, ain't right here. So I started researching. Like, first thing I did was I got my cousin. I said, hey, man, I need some more of that, but it's not over here. And so, where are you going and what are you doing? So he turned me on this little spot he was going to, and it was cool, but it didn't reach the level of what I'd experienced that night. So I eventually started talking around and telling, a few folks that I had been led into my path, I know now. And I find out about this one church, and it had the power, man. So I go over there, and sure enough, they was getting after it. And I started getting involved with that. But even then, I noticed that it still wasn't quite up to that level. And then I had to start dealing with a lot of church politics, And I'm like, well, this is not what I was expecting at all. But I'm still trying to do it because I really didn't know what it was supposed to be. So I get involved because if I'm gonna be doing something, I'm gonna be doing something. And this was the first time I go to one of the. They had a meeting, because I'm standing and sticking with it. And I'm learning. I'm trying to, put my work in the church, not just going to church, but I'm gonna help, build it and all of that. So I go to one of. They had a meeting, and it was like a deacons meeting of sort. But I knew the one dude, and he was trying to groom me to start, moving up and all that. And okay, cool, I'm with it. Well, I get in there, and they talking about some church politics, and they get to squabbling and arguing, and these cats pull pistols out. I'm like, wait a minute. But now this was not to no shade on them, but it was a Baptist church, and they had it going on the one end, because the service was just fire. But on the other hand, it was like it was wild. So I said, well, I'm realizing I'm gonna get to where I'm gonna go is to get there on my own. So that's when I start just studying, trying to get there on my own. But the point I'm making all that, I'm still getting a lot of foolishness, even from the folks that was in the and all levels of them, from the Luther cast, because they coming at me, because I grew up with them casts, and someone was calling me, why are you going back to church again? Come on, no, I'm not coming over there. Is it you? But yeah, I'm going back. And then the one, it's coming. So yeah, well, you come over for a while, you gonna come back. Well, no, I'm not trying to give that either. And I got to tell them folks, man, I'm looking for that 220 volt, man. But in the meantime, I'm still getting a bunch of the brainwashed. Well, man, if you ain't over here with us, you're doomed to go to hell. I'm like, really? And I thought, well, man, that's kind of weird because I'm not feeling y'all a bit, and I know that I'm as right as I can be. So nah, I don't think hell's a factor in this. I don't think hell's a factor, not for me, not on this one. So I started moving up the totem pole, man, and I fooled around and got some holiness folk. And I said, now this is it. We in the shout. And the Spirit would come in and folk be shouting and all, and it was on. And I'm still realizing though, because as we go to the studies and whatnot, these folks they're not studying, they're not really getting after it. They had a shout, they get their shout on, but not really, getting into it and learning and getting the foundation needed to take you through the trials and whatnot in life. And by not doing that, they were still exposed to the brainwashing that's coming in from all other areas, man. And I'm watching this, but now then I couldn't put a name on it. I couldn't label it, but I knew one that you doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing, and you doing it because of this influence over here, and this influence over here is negative. But if you was reading, getting after your word like you're supposed to be, this influence over here wouldn't be doing that. But it was. So I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and keep going and going deeper and deeper. And I ain't never stopped. And I'm here where I am today because I kept going deeper and deeper back then. And again, I always relate to the fact that my initial foundation was in Christianity. That's where I got my foundation. But it was a long time, and shortly after when I started researching and learning, and it was because of studying the Bible that I realized this is not right. And then I started reading and getting books that said, well, King James is the one that translated that Bible. Oh, really? Yeah, that's a 1611. That's pretty much the one everybody reads and study now. King James. Okay, well let me do a little research on this King James cat. So I'm reading. I'm like, look, I don't know. Somebody's wrong, cause ain't nowhere in the world that this dude that I'm studying over here, this King James character, had nothing to do with no religion or nothing spiritual, because he's a homicidal, homosexual, homo everything maniac. This dude is broke. So I realized, man, that Well, what I'm getting here ain't quite the genuine article. Because they had gone through the different councils and come through the council of Nicene and Trent and all that. And by the time they got through doctrine, what they had started with then and what they started with wasn't right. But when they got through with what they had that wasn't right and finished over here, oh, they really had a mess. So once you learn that stuff, you say, well, this is something to be reckoned with. And so I started looking all over. I need some knowledge, man. I need some uncut funk. The bomb. But into that, I realized then, and even more so now, that all the stuff I was receiving on the most part was a bunch of bullshit, man. And as long as you listen, folks will be telling you. I remember one time I was out on the yard and during my sabbatical, and I'm talking to some cats, you know, because during my sabbatical, it was all about the Bible. It was all about the Bible. I'm talking about 10 calendar years and cover to cover. All I did, I started Genesis and read the Revelation, and I just kept reading the whole time. In addition to my study books. And I was ordering books on the regular. I was ordering books. I was ordering tapes, all the Copeland and Hagen and what's old boy out of New York? Oh man, if you can't believe it, give it to me. He said, the only thing wrong with tainted money is it tainted love. Ike, thank you. Man, so I was getting, oh man, let me pour some libations. My bad, folks. Golly. Let me pour me some libations. But I was getting after it, man. I wasn't playing, but I kept seeing faults in it. And the one point I was getting ready to make, and then I'm gonna pour some libations, was when I had I would be leading studies and whatnot up there, and I would be watching the other dudes, man. You know, the cats that was into whatever it was they was into. And one day I'm looking at a dude over there across the yard, like I was saying, and he's all like this. And he got about 7 dudes around him, and he's coming, he's out the bucket, and he's pointing to it. I'm thinking, why, is that a Muslim dude or what? You know, you can tell, you know, and he's all into it. He's showing him this here, and I'm looking like, well, no cat on the block, man. This dude, what is he over there talking about? So I sashayed over. But this dude got some porn. He got some porn. And he's preaching this porn. Look at baby man, look at that, you know. And they're all up there. And I thought, wow, that's deep. Everybody's preaching what they believe in. Everybody got this word. And if you ain't got a truth that'll sustain you, you're gonna be taking the brainwash. And folks are taking the brainwash and they running with it. And now it's to the point where everything you getting is on the level of brainwash. And if you ain't filtered it through some truth, some understanding, through your spirit, through some superior knowledge, then you're being brainwashed. And if you're not cognizant of it, if you're not constantly understanding that what is being sent to you, through you, is trying to manipulate your mind, then you're being manipulated. If you're not cognizant and making a conscious effort to not be brainwashed, then you're being brainwashed. I'll say that again. If you're not cognizant and making a conscious effort not to be brainwashed, then you're being brainwashed. And it's that simple. One second here. I'll pour me some libations. And for sure. And in fact, if you aren't tapped into some spiritual power, then you got a disadvantage, a real disadvantage. Because the Svindali is so cold-blooded to you ain't gonna see it coming. I'm watching this stuff going on now, and I'm like, man, don't y'all see this coming? Don't see a thing. I'm looking at, man, listen, you talking about this and this cat here, and I'm like, look at them, man. Look at their records and his records, and understand this thing. I'm like, folks ain't seeing a thing. I'm like, this is a trip. Because your eye is keen now. You looking and you seeing this stuff from a mile off. I mentioned the other day ago about the, let me pour some, about the book, one of the books of the hundreds that I'd read was called Dealing with the Devil. And in this book, he was talking about how a lot of people in dealing with the enemy, negative energy, they allow that thing to get right up on them before they try to do any counter move. And by the time you let it get that close, you're through. You're through. Well, I'm looking at this thing now, and folks, not only that the negativity all up on them, they sitting with it. It's right up in the house with them and all. And don't even want to start to think and or believe that this is detrimental. This is not good for me. This is I need to be checking this. And it's obvious. A lot of times I be hearing folks talking about it, speaking about it, and still they allow it to do what it do. And I'd be like, well, why did you let that happen? I don't know. I thought, wow, that's interesting. I'd be listening to people's talk and I'd be saying, well, you can't possibly believe that what's happening over there. Oh, yeah. I said, well, that defies logic. You need to look at that, But the thing is, they stacked it up and up and up to the point that if you believe that lie, and then this lie is easier for you to believe, by the time you up here, you just believe in anything. You believe in Santa Claus and the Wizard of Oz. And in order to get out of that, you got to go all the way back through. And that's what we're talking about, that chakra work. Man, that's what that is. You got to go all the way back down up in there and look at that stuff and then and have the spiritual fortitude to balance it out, negate it. Because if not, you're going to have blockage, man, and you're not going to be able to deal with the stuff that's I'm going to pour this libation, I promise. Let me do this right here, man. Let me do this. We win, man, but folk ain't even trying to win. The tools to win are right here. I've been saying that over and over again. You got everything you need to win. The win is already in. It's a fixed game. Folk won't even go in there to play. I remember the one thing I read talking about folks is too lazy. Said he was too lazy to put his hand to his mouth to eat. I don't know why that came to mind, but it did. But I'm telling you, man, we got the tools, we got everything we need to win, but folks ain't winning. Folks ain't even trying to win. And folks will choose to believe a lie rather than the truth, knowing that it's a lie. And I showed the scripture a while back, was talking about, he said, I'll be a lying spirit to the prophet. And what that was a lying spirit to do? And I'm like, man, you can't come on with this. We win, but you got to put the win in. But folks ain't even trying to win. I'm looking at the body right now coming together. Oh man, really? Okay, let me see that. I'm watching Peter against Paul, Mike against Rashad, and I'm like, come on, man, that's not a win for sure. But they say, well, no, I got to kind of neutralize the situation. I'm like, no, man, no, you don't. For one, you don't. What you need to do is live in your truth, get as much truth as you can, and then all the rest of it, man, that's all man. You can take a horse of water, but you for sure. I'm gonna write these down next time, so I had these ready. I did write a note. Had these ready. I'm trying to look them up on my phone, and I apologize, man. This is what it is, man. I'm gonna get off this phone and read these joints out and keep it moving. Listen, man, we pour the libation so we can have energy, man. So the ancestors will come in to us, with us, and visit and strengthen us and give us help and keys and knowledge and guidance. That's what it's about. I referenced back a while back when they was choking out old boy, man, Floyd. I was like, man, the dude called his mom, man, and she had passed. So I'm like, man, there's something there to that. Because maybe he knew that, maybe this is it, man. I'm out of here, and I need some guidance to the guidance. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. Oh, man. Okay, here we go. First and foremost, to my mom. Merlot, I say. Okay, now you gonna act crazy. I'm gonna keep it moving. I ain't thinking about you. I say. William Fredericks, I say. Dallas, I say. To Den Lenny, I say. To Eva Shani, I say. Uncle Wayne, I say. All right, come on now, here we go. Attention, I say. Tiacha, I say. Shayola, I say. Shumala, I say. Lovato, I say. Lokoya, I say. Kakambo, I say. All ancestors known and unknown, I say. All gods known and unknown, I say. Your ancestors known and unknown, I say. I'm writing that out tomorrow because I got a big old long list. I'm going to bring them all in the house tomorrow. Yeah, Chaos ain't playing with y'all. We going to hit and stick for real. So that's what's up, man. A dude has got to know what he know and do what he do. And to that, you need to know that if you are not constantly blocking, keeping your shields up, then you're going to be getting bombarded with bullshit. Yeah. If you're not constantly filtering out the garbage, like they say in computer talk, garbage in, garbage out, you need to understand and know, look, that's a virus. That's a computer virus, and I'm not going to let that in. But y'all letting stuff in 100-fold, man. Y'all be watching these TVs, and TV is designed for you to go in front of that joint and let your guards down. That's what it's designed to do. The entertainment, it means without thought, man. So you sit up in that thing and you just be bombarded like radiation, and all that stuff is getting in you, and you ain't trying to filter out a thing, man. You ain't trying to block a thing. And you don't have no natural filters, no unnatural filters, no organic filters, no conscious filters, no subconscious filters. You just taking it all in, and it all ain't right. And you believe. I was this day doing a thing talking about we gonna dissect Lovecraft. Really? Start with you don't even know where the real Lovecraft come from. That dude he's the original founder of horror. This dude that you talk about, the King and all them shit, Dean Koontz and all that. No, man, Lovecraft, all of them get there. And if you look and research some of them spirits and all that he was dealing with, man, he was dealing with some heavy stuff. And so consequently, if you start allowing that stuff to move in and through you like they talked about in the word, when the one is swept out and you leave the door open, he gonna bring 7 of his homies with him, man. They coming up in you like running through you, man, like a hot knife through butter, cause you ain't trying to block, slow down, nothing. You've got to understand that you can't eat with everybody, you can't talk with everybody, you can't drink with everybody, you can't hang out with everybody. There's coming a time, man, that there's gonna be family and friends, so-called, that you can't kick it with, cause they into a whole different thing. You're gonna fool around and go get with them and take on something that you can't get on. Long as you sit up in there listening and allowing that to happen, they're going to be feeding into you. It's one or two ways. Either you feeding into them or they feeding into you. That's it, man. And if you ain't got your spiritual guards up, if you ain't got your spiritual shields up, literally spiritual shields, then they coming in. Not just on you now. Let's get busy with it. You need to have shields around your house, around your car. Nubius, get the car, homie, we finna go for a ride. Sick them Nubian stars up around that car and go on down the highway. Ooh, you ain't got to worry about nothing. But if you ain't got it, you got to worry about everything. I'm telling you, police try to pull up behind me. I tell them, man, you better get on. You ain't got to live in no fear. If you don't win the game, then you win every part of the game. You win on defense, you win on offense. If you won the war, you win the battles. Cats can't be messing with you. Know who you are, man, and walk in that. But first and foremost, you need to understand, I'm not going to accept and receive just anything from anybody. Did you know that the pink man was green? Really? I didn't know that. I remember, man, somebody very close to me told me, I seen it on TV, I seen it on the internet, it must be true. What? Really? You ain't got no more better filters than that. You need to come on with this, man. You need to understand that war. Yes, this is it, war. So you need to make sure your intel is correct. But some of y'all ain't even checking the intel. Whatever they bring in, oh yeah, that's cool, bring that on over here. That's cool. Bring that on over here. Go to the store, get anything you need. Well, you need to be about this, man. You need to be about this. You need to understand, man, if you let anything in, it's finna get you. I got a Mac, homie, and a Mac I like. You know why? Because he don't, who are you? Who are you? You can't come in here. That's why you got firewalls and whatnot all on your computer. No, you can't hold in the computer. I got a man. I got the what you call WP, whatever. You know, on him when something come in, he give you a little warning sign. We got some guy over here we don't recognize. Well, I be trying to download stuff sometimes, and they come up and say, "Oh man, what is that you're trying to download?" Oh, we're not having none of that. He got bugs, man. He got worms on him, man. We download him over here. You can't be downloading anything. I be watching these cats, man, because now everybody's getting stuff delivered and DFC and the brown truck. What's the brown truck? Anyway, they be coming and dropping off boxes and boom, boom, and they be tripping on me because I open my boxes and take my stuff out and I throw them boxes right over there. I take them straight to the trash. Man, I know back in the day, look at here, boy, you bring a box of them in the house, you done bought in a whole host of roaches, a whole host of vomit. Ain't no telling what you bring. Ain't no telling what you bring. That's why you can't bring just anything into your spirit. Man, you got folk, man, turning on music and getting under them headphones and falling asleep and don't know what you putting into your spirit. You say, man, well, that's okay. All right. All right. You wake up talking about, yeah. I remember that one Ziggy Pop, whatever. I'm going to kill my mother. That was his song. I'm going to kill my mother. I want to get that deep in my spirit, for real. I want music on that. I want to meditate. I want to swirl that around my mouth a little bit. I want to kill my mother. If you ain't filtering what's coming in, then you're brainwashed. You're brainwashed and you're being more brainwashed. If you think it's all right to just listen to any and everything and to listen to it without no filter, you're in trouble. Because let me explain this to you right here, right quick. They are designing stuff just for that. They got Trojan horse shit. Trojan horse shit. Yeah, ready to bring little stuff into your mind and wait, where we finna go next? Well, I'm telling you, get your guard up. Get your guard up. Get your guard up. You can't eat out of any trough, little piglet. You can't drink out of any fountain. And if you is drinking and eating, then you need to be filtering that stuff. You need to be cooking that pork to about 200. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do, man. But I had it. That was the stove to let y'all have that today, and whoop, there it is. If you're not filtering the stuff coming into you, then you're brainwashed. You're brainwashed. If you think it's safe to just turn on anything and sit there and smoke all the weed and drink all the drink and sit there all mummified in front of the dead tube, the original brainwash instrument, if you think that you can just sit there and do that, you are brainwashed. If you're not filtering out that stuff. And the news, oh my goodness. Hello. Know what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Be about it. Be about it. If you are not filtering out that stuff, then you're being brainwashed. That's my information right here. Facebook, Chaos963. I am Chaos963. Chaos963.com. Chaos963. Chaos963. Get at it, fella. Holler. Let me know what's on your mind, and we'll go from there. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm going to just let you go now and make it a great day. Thank you very much. Look like I stopped streaming. Did I stop streaming sometime here? I don't know. Well, if it did, it's over. That's crazy. All right, well, I'm out.